Hey, what's going on, guys? B here, and let's dive right in. I've done a lot of grinding since the last video. I'm figuring this game out again. I'm almost caught back up with a lot of other people, like in terms of like what's going on, a lot of the research and stuff I've done. I'm finally like back in it, guys. Comeback's complete. Drone is back, baby. Just to top off the comeback, I did it again, guys. Maybe they're going to have to throw me in some FFXV recovery program, some FFXV Anonymous. But I bought another pack. Totally worth it, though. Like, it's all good. It's all good. I did it for you guys. We need some more content. And I got a troop pack. As you can see, my power jumped up 320 MT, whatever that is. Millions of trillions. So I did get that pack. Don't buy that pack, though. Don't be like me. Don't buy packs, guys. Just play and chat with people. I just did this for the sake of videos. That's what I'm going to tell myself anyway. It'll pay for itself, right? If I make enough videos, eventually I'll recoup that $100. But yeah, I got a troop pack. It came with... actually, I'll show you guys. And I'm now thinking I should have got this pack right off the bat, because it's probably even better than the hero packs. It was this pack I got. Came with 100 trillion of each elemental. It basically instantly makes you pretty much a force in the game, just with the sheer troops. 54 trillion of each. I think you can even get better ones than this if you chop around. But I did get that one. I wanted to compete, guys. I wanted to be right in it and not have to grind forever. And I learned a lot from buying that pack, actually. Like, it reminded me of everything I love and hate about this game. To start off with things I hate, in order to get that many troops, it's just not going to happen. Like, you're not going to be able to grind for that many troops. So that kind of actually makes me mad. The fact that when you buy the pack, you instantly go over your troop capacities no longer matter, because they just give you those troops without having to open them or anything. And that's why you see people with like 3 billion trillion power, is because they keep buying those and their troop cap doesn't even matter, because, they're just getting troops on top of that. But so I did the math, and I get with 4 of these producing, I get about 1 billion chests an hour of the command depot. And when you open up the chests, let's see, we can actually confirm that. Oh, I don't have corona, I promise, guys. I've been practicing social distancing. So 325 an hour, 325 million an hour times 4. That's like 1.3 billion. And when you open up 1.3 billion chests, I'll show you guys how many troop supplies I get. So I had it right. So here we go. Here's per hour you can farm about this much if you don't have the 8,000% production boost on those command depots. It turns out that's why my command depots are replenishing so slowly, is because there was a pack that came out that gave you 8,000 something percent increased production. I don't have that pack, but you can see here, per hour, I'm getting like low billions, 1.3, 2.75, 1 billion, 1 billion, 1.5, 1.8 of each, right? So basically, to get a 54 trillion or whatever in the pack, it'd take months of grinding. But I still recommend, so what that means is you're probably not gonna become a beast at this game just by farming these, unless you're leveling them up on farms and attacking like a bunch of farms and stealing them from other people. You're probably not going to get enough of them to like be able to take on attacks from the top dogs. I mean, maybe you can do pretty good, but we kind of knew this is a pay to win game, right? Maybe even pay to play. I think you can trap still without spending money, but you're probably not going to be indestructible, just free to play, just farming these up, because you don't get enough of them. But I still think it's worth building these expansions, because you get enough to compete in some battles. Like every hour you get enough to do an attack pretty much, like, because you're going to lose probably 10 billion per attack, and if you're getting 10 billion every hour, you can do about an attack an hour and not have to worry about running out of your troop supplies. So I still recommend building them, and I'm keeping three of these wells too. So I did a lot of attacks. To try to figure out what the proper troop compositions are, and it does seem like level 12 warriors or level 12 dark troops in general are more or less worthless. They even make you burn. So assuming the problem is they die at the same time as the troop supplies. And they die way easier than troop supplies. Fortunately, I don't have any battle reports. It's not displaying them for whatever reason, but basically, I would get attacked and I would lose like 5 trillion of my dark level 12 troops, and then like a couple billion troop supplies also. So if I didn't have all those, all those warriors, cavalry, mage, dark troops, it only would have hurt my troop supplies, and I would have probably not burnt. But because I had all those troops, I would burn. But I don't want to dismiss them just yet, because I'm over my troop cap anyway, and I don't mind burning. Like, I'm not trying to keep heroes or anything like that. And I have plenty of teleport. So if I'm on the crystal and I get burnt and teleport, it makes you teleport off the crystal when you're burnt. I just teleport back. It's no big deal. I don't mind burning. It's just, who cares? It's just a little battle report, right? But I didn't want to dismiss any of these because I have over 200 trillion of each. So might as well keep them. They're like a buffer. If people attack me while I'm sleeping or something, they got to eat through a lot of troops before they get to my good stuff. So that's kind of why I have it like that. I think it's probably worth for a lot of you having those troops. But some people don't like burning. If you like to hold on to people's heroes, like catch a hero and hold on to it, those level 12 troops are not going to help you. They're going to hurt you. In other news, the mercenaries and the elementals, I actually really like. Really only the level 9 elementals, because they die. I actually can't even see them here. Oh, yeah, I can. Yeah, so the level 9 elementals, definitely worth having. Reason being is they die after all your troop supplies are dead. So all your troop supplies are going to have to die before you start losing them. So that means if you attack a crystal, you can send all your elementals and you're pretty much safe unless they eat through every single troop supply, which is pretty tough, especially if you have good troop supply research and good march size. And it takes up a different march cap too. So you can only send so many of each type, like so many mercenaries, so many elementals, so many dark troops, like the basic dark troop, and then so many troop supplies or commanders, whatever you want to call them these days. So basically, if you're attacking like a crystal or somebody who won't eat through all your troop supplies, you might as well send the level 9 elementals, because it's going to increase your damage output quite a bit. So yeah, I'm pretty pumped about them. Kind of interesting, I just realized this, there's no more elemental warriors. There's no different troop type. It's just the lightning, the earth, the ice, and the fire. There's no more warriors, no more cavalry. So it takes that aspect out of it, which is kind of a bummer actually, because part of the benefit of the elementals back in the day is you got say you had like warrior earth troops, all your warrior buffs apply to them, all your elemental buffs apply to them, all your earth elemental buffs apply to them, like everything applied to them. Whereas now only the elemental buffs and only the dark troop buffs are going to apply. So you're not going to get the warrior, mage, cav buffs, which are really good these days, So that's kind of a bummer on the elementals, but they're still worth building, if you have the level 9s, throwing them in your marches, it's going to help out a ton. And mercenary troops too, they have enough HP, like their base HP is high enough that they die after the core troops, the core troop supply, the troop supply troops. So at least the higher level ones, the level 12s, the 13s, the guardians still die first. So, and a lot of people say don't have guardians, and certainly the level 13 were making me burn. But as soon as all my level 13 died, where is it, guardians? As soon as all my level 13 died, that's not them either. They're somewhere here. Juggernauts, airships, mech. Okay, yeah. So I'm down under 1 trillion now. From the realm boss I got some more. But I was down to 0, and that actually helped me out a ton, not having the guardians, because a lot of people hit you with airships, and the airships just shred guardians. And the guardians, you don't get enough stats to make them really tanky, unless you're like already a beast, and then you have the stats for them. But for most people, it's probably not worth having them, or maybe just keeping them until they die, which they inevitably will if you're battling a lot. Yeah, airships seem to be pretty effective. Definitely had a lot of fun with those. Had a lot of fun with the elementals. Seems like the standard dark troops no longer that great. I did level up all my heroes and distributed a lot of their mastery skill points. I guess maybe I haven't distributed his yet. I leveled him up for the RVR because he got the march size buff with him. But really cool. I just noticed this when I was putting skill points in this new carbuncle hero. He's got max MP mastery skill, which means that applies to all your heroes. So if you're thinking about leveling up a bunch of heroes, I would maybe level him up first and then max out all his max MP skills, because he's got a couple of them in his mastery section. So that's going to buff every single hero's max MP with this guy's. That's like his primary use now, I guess, is an MP buffer. He's got a little bit of MP recovery here. Whoop, that's not it. Oh, in his normal skill tree he does. Yeah, 250% is nothing. But the MP multiplier at 100%, that's going to help out. Especially he's got the other ones too. And he's also got his march size. While we're here, let's see what these two were. MP recovery, 50,000 for all heroes. That's pretty good. That's okay. As I talked about in the last video, MP's recovery is not quite as important as it used to be. But max MP is still pretty important for leveling up heroes and stuff. So that's cool. And he's got his cap bonuses too here. His march size, his core buffs are okay, but the march size one's the big one. If my game will stop lagging. You get this one max, it's 40 billion of each. And yeah, that actually reminds me, I increased my march size another way too. Also leveling heroes. If you go to change the heroes, you can see all the chicks, every single chick, they all have their own unique mastery skill tree. Well, not unique, but unique to only the chicks in this game. It is the Power of Queens. So every chick here in this game has the Power of Queens section. I maxed all these. I don't know where I got it from, like the points to max it. Somewhere I did. The main benefit of it, though, that I could see, and the reason I maxed them all, you get some buffs. Like if you max 5 different heroes at 200 billion each, that's a trillion. So that helps. So that the buffs are okay. The mirror buffs are okay. But the primary reason is this skill right here, Imperial Forces, increases your Dark March size and your maximum troop cap, which if you're behind the pack isn't a big deal, but 9 trillion is quite a bit. Like you do that on every hero, and that's, what's that, like 5 times 9, that's 45 trillion max troop capacity. So that's where some people are getting some troop capacity outside of buying the packs, of course. And then the march size, I think it was more than that for some of the other heroes. Might have been. But yeah, every little bit helps. So I leveled up all those on all the different chicks. Another big thing I did is gear. I decided to do a bunch of different gear sets. And I'm curious what most people do, if most people do the same thing. But what I found pretty useful is I have 3 completely different gear sets, all based for combat. I've got one that buffs all troop HP. So I'll show you guys that here in a second, but just do a quick overview. Got one that buffs all elemental attack, mercenary attack, and then it has some troop HP as well. And then I've got, actually it only has elemental attack and mercenary attack. That's all the gems are elemental attack and mercenary attack gems. No HP gems, no sort of defensive anything. It's just all attack. And I'll show you guys why here in a second. And then I got this gear set, all cav buffs. So 2 different cavalry multiplier gems and then a warrior multiplier gem. And then I think, we'll go through it all. But this one will equip the Dark Troop HP gear. I was using this one for defense because, as I mentioned before, I've got tons of level 12 warriors. And if you want to use those level 12 warriors in a defensive way, it makes sense to give them as much HP as possible so they don't just get shredded and you don't lose like 100 trillion per attack. So what I did is all of these gems here, Let's just pull one up. Let's pull one up. Okay, so we have the mage HP, a warrior HP here. Then we have a cavalry one. We come way down here. Now these gems are actually quite a bit better, but throw on this cavalry one here, because even the level 2 of this down here is better than those up there, because you get the multiplier at 50% and you also get a couple extra billion on the other buffs. So I had the mage multiplier, offensive, defensive, everything. Cavalry multiplier, and this is the cavalry, that's the warrior. I'm struggling. And then I had a dark troop combination one. So it buffs the troop attack with hero multiplier, troop armor, troop HP with hero multiplier, troop armor with hero multiplier, and the dark troop HP. So wow, I struggled to say that, but that's what I had on this gear set. And that's kind of what I was going for. Just all troop HP, and get the multipliers, because my buffs for cavalry is like 15 trillion or something like that. My mage and warrior buffs are around there too. So if you're getting a multiplier on 15 trillion, that's pretty good. So that's what I was running for my defensive set. I put it all on the Dragon Knight gear. Some of that was just coincidence. Like, there's nothing too special about the Dragon Knight gear that like make it the prime candidate to put defensive gems on and stuff, but that's just what I had an extra set of, so that's what I put it on. The next gear set is the elemental and merc attack gem set, and this is all for crystal. This is all for attacking, and really just attacking the crystal. So here's the thought process. I've got Gilgamesh gear. And so why do I have Gilgamesh gear? The theory is, guys, the Gilgamesh gear has a special oh, okay, actually, only the weapon doesn't. I picked the wrong one. But the Gilgamesh gear, it has a bonus for attacking the crystal. So look at this. Crown Assault, Dark Crystal Assault Armor. Did the weapon have that too? Let me just double check. Okay, yeah, the weapon is the only one that has something different. I'm pretty sure everything else has a Crystal Assault, either health or armor. And so what's so great? 140 billion, who cares about it, right? Wait a second. This might actually apply to troop supplies. At least the wording on it would make me think this would buff your troop supply HP, which is gigantic, because there aren't any, I can't find hardly any buffs for those except for the core potencies and the stuff in like the research and some of the hero skill trees. But I'm starting to think that wouldn't a crystal assault health apply to those? I think it would. And if that's the case, 140 billion% on the troop supplies would be pretty significant. So that's why, and I noticed this too, a lot of people are taking the crystal pretty easy but struggling to hang on to it. And I think this is why. I think it's just because of this dark crystal assault health that applies to every single troop type. Maybe I'm wrong. I haven't done any tests with it yet because I didn't quite have the capability to really go for the crystal and get some good battle reports. But there's an armor one too on, was it the helmet had the armor? Yeah, 420 billion. So if you get armor on those, if it applies to the troop supplies, that's huge. Like, this gear is going to be a must for crystal battles. If I'm right about that, it's pure speculation, but I think I might be right on it. So in terms of the gems, I've got this rainbow one is a pretty sure it's elemental attack. This pink one's mercenary attack, I'm pretty sure. And this red one is also mercenary attack with hero. And then this one is elemental attack with hero. So we got 3 different elemental buffs and a mercenary buff on this one gear piece, all attack. The reason is because if you're attacking the crystal, you'll have the elemental troops, level 9, if you include elemental troops. If you don't have the level 9, don't do them. But You can put on level 9 elemental troops. They're safe as long as all your troop supplies survive. And they probably will for a crystal battle, unless your research isn't very good. They should survive. So you're gonna get all attack out of those elementals. That's big. So get the attack elemental buff, not the defensive ones, because they're not gonna get hit. Like, they're not gonna take any damage. It's gonna be all the core troop supplies. So get the attack gem. Same with the mercenary troops. They're safe from actually taking damage. Where you have to worry about them is you just want as much attack as possible out of them. So attack mercenary gem, multiplier, the multipliers. Because if the multipliers are as good as they sound, it's going to buff up tons of damage. So I went with the multiplier gems. And then this one, the red one, I think actually was a mercenary attack with hero. It also had defensive mercenary buffs on that one too, because that's just a really good gem in general. But the defensive buffs are irrelevant. Just get it for the attack. And then this elemental one is same thing. It had defensive elemental buffs and an attack buff, and you're just putting it on for the attack buff on the elemental. So I think that's I think this gear set is locked in. Like, I think I didn't have enough for the third accessory. I accidentally got 2 weapons instead of an extra accessory. That was my bad. So I've got this lonely accessory here, but in terms of gems, I think that's perfect. I might have ran out of some of the gems, so I think I have 2 mercenary gems on 2 of the gear pieces down here, or maybe 3 of them. Anyways, that's the idea though. All attack gems on this gear that might actually buff your defense for your core supplies on like the Gilgamesh. So that's the theory anyway. Still need to test out. Next crystal battle, we're going to get some good footage next battle, guys. It's going to be epic. It's going to be epic. And the third gear set I actually won't be using this gear set, but I wanted to have it just in case to try out, because right now everybody's got those level 12 dark troops. And I was thinking maybe if you had multiple gems buffing just one troop type, and you did a rally of, like, say, all cavalry, and all your gems buffed cavalry troops, that might be good. That was the theory anyway, because if you can get 3 different cavalry multipliers on each gem piece, or on each gear piece, that's a lot of multiplying. So I need to try out and see if it's enough to make level 12 troops good. Probably not. I think they're just too bad, guys. Like, maybe in an RVR, if you get enough of them in a rally against somebody who's not quite stacked on defense, you might be okay. But we're gonna try it out. We'll do some of that in another video. I had the gear, I had the gems. I thought, why not? Why not just have it? I could also use this for a defense and then just dismiss all my mages, because I have 2 cavalry buffing gems, a warrior buffing gem, and then this paragon gem buffs all dark troops. So effectively 3 different cavalry buff gems and then 2 warrior buff gems, if you look at it that way. So I think this could be good for defense if you don't have many mages. But if you have mages, and I did use this actually for a couple different defenses, and like twice as many mages died as cavalry and as warrior troops with no mage buffing gems on it. So I'd be curious to see how this set does compared to the other dark troop HP, which is basically the same, except for rather than 2 cavalry gems, I have a cavalry and a mage gem. So that's the only difference between these 2. But the big gear piece I was excited about is this crystal one. I spent a lot of time trying to think what's the edge for taking the crystal. What's the edge? And obviously the most important thing is going to be having your troop supply research maxed, getting all that getting the core defense supply potencies maxed. That's going to be really big for crystals, because the idea is you want to lose less core troops than the person you're attacking or defending against, because that's what's going to give you the victory on the crystal battles, is whoever loses the least amount of troops. And if you've got the best troop supply research, you're probably going to lose less than the opponent, unless they're just coming at with really good elementals, really big rally size, all that kind of stuff. But basically it's how good your troop supply research is, from what I could see. And what else? Yeah, so this gear, that's the gear sets I was playing around with. One for defense, one for crystal battles. Probably doesn't matter which one I use. Actually, for offense, I'd probably use the elemental merc one. Probably use that one because you're going in with troop supplies and then elementals and mercenaries behind it. So, yeah, I'd probably use that one for just about everything. Maybe even defending, to be honest. Especially if I didn't have any level 12 troops. Just use that for defense, too. If I had more guardians, I would consider mercenary HP and armor gems to buff the guardians up. Because you can get the multipliers for the mercenary troops. The defensive multipliers. So maybe if you have guardians, you could try that out. I didn't have enough to justify it, though. And I don't have another gear set, I don't think. Unless I remove gems from one. What else? Started leveling up a farm here, as you can see. I logged in my old farm account, and I had enough to get level 20 expansions just about. Of course, I'm still lacking the blueprints to go above 20, but at least I'm ready for whenever free-to-play is available to get those blueprints, because I still think it is worth farming these. It is worth farming it. The thing is, you're just not going to get enough of them to survive big RVR battles. You can get enough to survive realm battles, I think, because in RVR they do like that 5x march size, and maybe even more than that, depending on what RVR it is and everything. But if you have 5x march size, 5 times the march size, they're gonna hit 5 times as hard, just about. So to survive RVR, you need a lot more of the troop supplies. But to just survive realm battles, you probably wouldn't need more than a couple trillion just to be safe. And you can farm up a couple trillion as a free to play. I did it. I got up to 3 trillion of each just farming mine, and then good old Steels here, who was hooking me up with his for a while. So you can get trillions in a couple weeks if you're on point with your farming and everything. But yeah, and that would be enough for realm battles, I think. Probably not enough to survive, like you're not going to be able to keep unbubbled, but you could unbubble, take a couple hits, and then bubble again, and you'd probably have enough for that, at least. Yeah, I know, guys. I know. But yeah, it's been good, guys. I had a fun couple days. Good RVR battles. It's pretty epic. It reminded me why I love this game. Teleporting into another realm and then duking it out with their top dogs. Man, that's awesome. That's awesome. It's fun to figure out what gems to use, what troop compositions to test stuff out. That's why I love this game. And to do rallies with your guild mates. Me and Cryan here and Sir Benson, we were trying to take the crystal in our realm. It didn't go so well because our rally size is just too small and our research isn't quite good enough. But it's still fun. It's still fun to go for it. Even if you know you're going to lose, just why not? Have some fun. Go for it. Live it up. It's okay if you get your hero capped. It's okay if you lose all your troops, because you get them back eventually. Like it's not the end of the world. So, but that being said, don't throw your troops away. Like I still bubble because that would be kind of annoying to wake up and have all my 48 trillion mercenaries dead and all my 300 trillion elementals dead. Like that would be pretty annoying. I'm not gonna lie, because then I'd be like, oh, do I replace them with another pack, or do I just farm up for a while? Of course, the answer to that is farm for a while. Don't buy packs, guys. Don't be like me. Don't be like me. Be smarter than me. Okay, yep, next thing I was going to look at is we should have some new events going on. Let's see what we got. Okay, actually, probably have to wait a little bit longer before they add anything real new. I was hoping that before I shut down this video, we'd have like a realm boss or something, but nothing yet. All right, guys, that's it. Hopefully I didn't ramble on too long about nothing, but hopefully there's some takeaway in all this. I hope so. At least out there, if you're out there buying packs, just know there's other idiots like you too out here, locked down on quarantine. So, but I blame this coronavirus for everything, guys. This thing is just frustrating. It's just so frustrating. Hope you guys are being safe out there. washing your hands, avoiding unnecessary, unnecessary exposure. All right, take it out. Take it out. Take it out. Get takeout, guys, and I'm out of here. Bye.